Hopefully this is going to be a fairly short video because this machine has a very obvious fault which I'm hoping is going to be easy to fix. It's a Panasonic model NV-SV121 and these were among the sort of last of the decent VHS machines that were ever made. This particular one dates from around 2004. I say they're decent decks, but even though this was Panasonic's top of the range at the time, you can see it's really cheaply made. The deck looks cheap, and it's this sort of monoblock design, just one great big circuit board and everything on it, including the power supply. Although having said that, I haven't cut every conceivable corner because this machine does have a separate AV output. That might not seem remarkable to you if you've never lived in Europe, because you might not realise that nearly always on a video recorder the only AV outputs you'd get would be on SCART connectors. So to have a separate AV out is a pleasant surprise, and it means I won't need to use a SCART breakout cable with this machine. I bought this one on eBay, and normally these sort of late model VHS decks wouldn't interest me, but the reason I wanted this particular one is because not only does it have a time-based corrector built in and digital noise reduction, but it also supports the rare PAL EP or Super LP recording speed. I didn't even know PAL EP existed until last year, and ever since then I've been on the lookout for a sort of a decent machine with a time-based corrector that also supports PAL EP, and this is one of only a very few models that tick both of those boxes. In fact, I think this is the only Panasonic model that has time-based corrector, digital noise reduction and PAL EP. There's at least one JVC model that has that feature combination. It's the HRS 9850, but those machines tend to fetch stupidly high prices. I've never seen one for sale that I could actually afford. Anyway, this Panasonic was sold to me as non-working for parts or repair. The seller said it doesn't power on, which turns out to be absolutely true. If we connect the power lead, get a click, but as you can see there's absolutely no signs of life at all, not even a clock display, so it's just completely dead. And we get a little tick when we disconnect the power supply as well. So I'm quite hopeful that this is just going to be a simple power supply fault, and sure enough we have a very obvious puffed up capacitor in here. It's C1260 and it's a 1200 microfarad 10 volt electrolytic. Now the Retro Electrical Repair channel did an excellent video on a very similar machine to this, which I'll put links to on the screen now and in the video description, and in his case both C1260 and its neighbour C1250 had failed. So what I'm planning to do is replace both of those capacitors while I've got the machine stripped down, even though my C1250 actually looks okay at the moment. So without further ado, let's relocate to the workshop and we'll get this machine apart. Right, let's get this thing apart then. Incidentally, apologies if you can hear a bit of background noise on this video, it's just a bit chilly out here today. I've got a fan heater going, so sorry about that. That's the front panel off. Oh dear, a bit of dirt or something on the display there. We'll sort that out in a minute. I'm assuming we're going to have to remove all these screws in the back as well. That's a different screw there. First thing to do is get the deck out. Looks like there's one screw there. Is there a screw in that corner? I don't think there is actually. And these two red screws at the back. Actually, disconnect that because that's getting in the way of the screw. So the shorter of the two red screws goes there, and the longer of the two red screws goes there. Disconnect that head motor connector and the little connector for the loading motor. Now does that screw? That doesn't go right through. Now I think the deck should just lift out now. With a bit of luck. I don't want to lift it by that really. Oh no, one more screw I've missed. There's a black screw here. Right. Now the deck should lift out. Now there's an earthing strap there that's going to have to be disconnected as well. Oh, that screwdriver's inappropriate. That earthing strap out. Well, now the deck should lift out, hopefully. Come, is there a screw I've missed? Yes, there's one here. Another black screw. There we go. Now, of course, I should have checked before I lifted that out that it was in the fully unlaced position, so we can make sure we get the mode switch back in the correct position. As long as I don't touch the mechanism or touch the mode switch, it should just go straight back in the right place when I reassemble it. That's the theory anyway, so let's just pop that over there. Let's have a quick look underneath there. Not sure if it's worth replacing that belt. I don't want to turn anything because I want to make sure the mode switch lines up, so I'm going to leave that well alone. In fact, I won't put that there, I'll put this well out of the way on the other side of the room. Right, that's completely out of harm's way. Now I just want to be a bit careful I don't touch that mode switch, because it actually doesn't look as though it's fully lined up, so I'll leave it. Have I missed a screw on the rear? Yes, I have missed a screw on the rear, look. Is there another screw I've missed? Oops. Instantly, if you're wondering why it's on this bit of paper, it's because one of the feet on the bottom has gone all sticky. I don't want to get a sticky black mess all over my workbench. Yes, I've missed another screw, look. There we go. Took a little bit of encouragement, but we got there. I should say this has been powered off and disconnected from the mains for a good number of hours, actually a couple of days, so I'm not too worried about any of the capacitors holding a charge, but it's worth just being very careful, particularly over here, because some of these capacitors can hold a charge for quite a significant amount of time after you've disconnected the machine from the mains, so just take a bit of care if you're doing this. Right, let's get the... actually I'll leave that on the paper and I'll just put the circuit board down now. Incidentally, I forgot to say I have tested the fuse, that's fine. Okay, let's get the desoldering tool fired up. While I'm waiting for the desoldering tool to heat up, I'll just give this display a bit of a wipe because it's got a bit of dirt on it. There we go. Oh, that's much cleaner. In fact, I'll do the inside of the front panel as well, I think. Well, there wasn't much dirt on that, but that's really made a significant difference, but anyway, there we go. Right, that should be up to temperature now, let's just check. Yep, that's fine, so let's flip the board over. And we're looking for C1250, which is that one. Let's take that one off first because it looks a bit easier to get at. Right, that should come out now. In theory, yes, there we are. See, that one looks okay really, but we'll replace it anyway. Now where's 1260? There it is. So repeat process for this capacitor. Now, that one should come out hopefully. Still just stuck slightly. There we are. And that one has definitely puffed up. So how we, oops, didn't want to touch the screen, that's a mistake. I might give that another wipe in a minute. Yeah, that looks okay, and the plus and minus are actually marked on the board quite clearly. Right, let's get the new components. Right, so this is the 1200 microfarad, which was C1260, which is there, and the minus goes there. There. And 680 microfarads, and the minus is towards me. The capacitor's actually a bit bigger because it's a higher voltage rating. So it's fitted in okay. Let's solder them in. I've just noticed I've got a bit of a dry joint there, so I'll just reflow the solder on that one. That's better. Let's reassemble. Just give that screen another wipe because I accidentally stuck my finger on it earlier on, so I'll just give the screen another quick wipe. Now the tricky part, getting the deck back on, because I've got to make sure the mode switch lines up and that connector lines up. Shouldn't be too difficult because we've got posts to guide us, but there we go. It's gone back on, hasn't it? Now, I actually need to refer back to my footage to find out which screws went where. I'm pretty sure the two red ones went at the back. We can put them in. So they're all in, but and those ones at the back are not actually supporting the deck. I wonder if that's correct. And this little red one went under that earth wire. There we are. I think that's the deck back in. It's interesting that the front two screws are actually clamping the deck down, but the rear three are not. I wonder if there's spacers or washers missing from those, and someone's been in here before me. Anyway, let's reconnect all the connectors. Loading motor first. And head motor. And was that under or over? I don't know. Let's put it under. Looks like it wants to go under. It's the audio and control head cable. Yep. It's all in. Right, front panel next. some clips in. Yeah, they've gone in. Right, should we give it a try? Why not? Right, power lead. In. Let's, I'll turn the heater off just briefly so we can hear. Moment of truth. That looks promising. Power on. Hey! Don't know if you can see that, but the display has lit up. So let's try loading a tape. Perfect. Fast forward. This will calculate the remain, won't it? Is it going to ramp up? Yeah, there it goes. That's looking good. Try rewind. Is it going to ramp up? Yeah, there it goes. Stop and play. Yep, looks like it's playing. Now eject. Yep, seems good. Right, let's hook it up to a monitor, see if we get a picture out of it. Okay, got it hooked up to a monitor, so let's put the tape in. Hit play, see what we get. Is it going to auto track? Yep, seems to be. Although it's a terrible quality recording on this tape. Basically working though, isn't it? Let's get that out. Let's get a bit of a better tape, shall we? Hopefully this is a pre-recorded tape. Hopefully this will be rather better quality. And it should auto play because the record protect notch has knocked out on this one. There we go. Yeah, working fine. Picture rewind. Yeah, that's all looking good. And eject. Perfect. There we go. One fully working Panasonic NV-SV121 VHS video recorder. Now, one other feature this machine claims to have is this 43-second jet rewind mode. And that actually has a dedicated button here, which is also duplicated on the remote. So I assume this refers to an E180 cassette, which is the sort of standard tape length in Europe. So let's test that claim, shall we? I'll just disconnect the monitor and spin the machine round so it's facing the camera, so it's a bit easier to see the cassette. So I have an E180 cassette here, which is, as you can see, very close to the end. So I'll load this into the machine. Now I'll have to stand in the way slightly of the light. So at this point I fiddled about with the tape transport controls a bit just to get the machine to calculate the remain and then end up as close as I could get it to the very end of the tape, but still in the laced up position. So I won't bore you with all that footage. Suffice to say, the tape is now as close to the end as I can get it and the machine is laced up. So let's try this jet rewind button then and see if it really will rewind an E180 cassette in 43 seconds. Jet rewind, there we are. Right. So 3, 2, 1, press. Well, that took 47 seconds, but that was from the fully laced up position. I didn't realise the machine was going to unlace the tape before it did that fast wind, so I don't think that was really a fair test. So what I'll do now is I'll rerun that same piece of video, but this time I'll start the timer from when the machine begins to wind the tape, so that's just after it's finished unlacing. So let's see if that takes 43 seconds. Right. So, 3, 2, 1, press. And that took pretty much exactly 43 seconds. So there we are. Nice fully working video recorder. I'll just pop the top back on now and we'll be good to go. So thank you very much for watching.